What up, Laker Nation? It's your boy DTLF back with another pregame live stream as the Lakers get set to face the Philadelphia 76ers in Philly at 12:30 Pacific time. This game is going to be extremely interesting. Still don't know if Joel Embiid is going to be playing tonight. He has gastritis or something like that. So, it'll be interesting to see if he plays. But if he doesn't, then the odds go up a lot more that we win. Of course, we can't take this team lightly. They just added Tobias Harris. So, it'll be interesting to see how we incorporate our new guys, right? Muscala and, of course, Reggie Bullock. So I can't wait for today, man. We're about like 30 minutes from tip-off. Lakers, Sixers, Tobias Harris, Muscala, Reggie Bullock, new additions, all going to get at it today. Now, something interesting happened today, man. I don't know if you guys saw the interview with Magic Johnson, where he says that Ben Simmons wants to work out with LeBron and the Lakers in the Lakers facility this summer. What's up, everybody? How you guys doing? Hopefully, you guys' morning is doing good. But yeah, it turns out Ben Simmons wants to work out with the Lakers in their facility. Now, Magic mentioned something interesting because of the tampering rules and stuff like that. They asked Ben Simmons to get signed off by the Sixers, the league, and I forgot who else. But bottom line is, he can't work out in our facility without permission from the 76ers. Think about that. That's how much the league always is hovering over us, like about tampering and all that. So that's very interesting, man, to see that, young players want to come over here and work out with us and play. But the way I've seen the way I see it is, I wonder if Ben Simmons now, his agent is Rich Paul, right? You guys saw in the draft, LeBron James traded for Ben Simmons. He traded Russell Westbrook for Ben Simmons. So I wonder if there's some, low-key recruiting going on from the Lakers' part as far as Ben Simmons goes and him potentially in the future requesting a trade or something like that. Hopefully not, because we don't need more drama. But I'm just saying it's very interesting that Ben Simmons wants to work out with the Lakers this summer. And, that Magic Johnson said not unless he gets permission from his franchise. So I've never seen that before. Normally, players are able to work out wherever they want to work out or whatever. But anyways, moving on to tonight's game. So potentially no Joel Embiid. He's out with gastritis. The Lakers seem to be at full strength minus Lonzo, who hopefully comes back after All-Star break. And hopefully we get this win. Now we got to build on the same momentum we were playing with the last game. We got to continue to play with that chip on our shoulder. We got to keep fighting. Got to play downhill, man. I hope the Lakers come with the same passion, because if we do, we're going to have a good shot. We're going to have a great shot, actually, at winning tonight. And I'm very curious to see how the new incorporated shooting from Reggie Bullock and Muscala is going to fit in with the Lakers. See if they're going to right away be able to, make an impact and get some consistent heavy rotation minutes. And also, whose time are they going to take away, right? We know that Zubac's minutes are going to go to Muscala, but what about Reggie Bullock? We already have kind of a stacked backcourt as far as minutes go. And then when Lonzo comes back, even more stacked. So it'll be interesting to see who these guys take away. Also, there's been talk of, potentially signing Markieff Morris. I think it's Markieff. If it's not Marcus, it's Markieff. It's one of the two brothers. The one that got released by the Washington Wizards. But he's had some injury history this season. So I don't know if they're going to go for him or Carmelo Anthony. Unfortunately, Wayne Ellington and Wesley Matthews already signed with their prospective teams after being released. So it'll be interesting to see who the Lakers go for, man. A lot of questions surrounding the Lakers. We still have that open roster spot, and I'm not exactly sure in what direction we're headed. But, so you guys say Reggie Bullock is taking Josh Hart's minutes? And maybe. Josh Hart hasn't been shooting particularly well. So, so it'll be interesting to see if that happens. So I was thinking the same thing, honestly, guys. But what do you guys think of the new additions? Who do you guys think is going to make the bigger impact? Of course, I believe Reggie Bullock. He's been more effective this season. As a matter of fact, he's been more effective the past 2 seasons. Muscala is more of a hit or miss as far as minutes can go. He can have a solid game or maybe not even make an impact. So curious to see who's going to make the bigger impact. He said, did you see Zubac play? What did you think? You know what? I rarely to never watch Clipper games, but I saw the highlights, and he looked solid. I mean, nothing surprising there. I still believe in his future, especially if they give him heavy minutes. They start him over there and give him heavy, consistent minutes. I think he can develop into a very, very nice player. So I'm proud of him. I'm again root for him individually. I'm never rooting for the beach volleyball. Never going for the Clippers, man. So at the end of the day, whatever he does individually, I'm happy for him. Same as every other ex-Laker that left gracefully and didn't demand a trade or cause a scene on his way out. I always cheer for them, especially the young core players. Hey, Dan, what up with Ball and his crazy dad slapping magic? I don't know what you're talking about, slapping, but you know what? I'm not going to pay too much attention to that. Whatever happens, happen. As you guys know, I love Lonzo Ball, but the last time I felt like this about a player was D'Angelo Russell, and he ended up getting traded. So I hope that I'm wrong. I hope he doesn't get traded, and I hope he turns out to be the star player that we think he's going to be with the Lakers for years to come, right? Because Lonzo is an impact player. Somebody sent me on Twitter, and I already knew he was an elite defender. I always praise him for that. But somebody sent me a chart of how good the Lakers are with Lonzo Ball, and then how bad they are without him. We dropped all the way to 27th? And defensive efficiency rating without Lonzo Ball as our starting point guard. With him, we're 7th best in the league. So that's a 20 slot drop. And one player can make that kind of difference. I think I really love a player like that. So love you too, Brian. Said D'Lo's balling for real. I always know he would, man. I always knew he would. If you guys been rocking with me for a minute, I was one of the few fans that been defending D'Angelo even when everybody used to say trade him, he's inconsistent, blah, blah, blah. I always used to tell people, man, give him the 3rd or 4th year and watch he's going to take off like a rocket. And I don't mean Houston, So pretty much D'Angelo always had the potential, man. I always saw him like a knockoff, a slower version of James Harden, less athletic version, but definitely a crafty guard who can get in the seams, attack the rim, penetrate, drive, and kick, has good court vision, and he can knock down the 3, which is his specialty, which ironically is what we've been lacking this season. So, hey, happy Sunday to you too. How you doing, Rex? I hate snitches. Man, he made a mistake. He was a young kid. You can't hate on a young kid for making a mistake. He claims that he didn't even know that the video leaked. So, I mean, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm over holding, life is too long to categorize somebody for one mistake they've made. Nobody's perfect. We've all made mistakes. And, there's no way that we should forsake D'Angelo for that one mistake. And I blame a lot of that on Nick Young. So, hey, what's up, Laker girl? How you doing? Good to see you. What up, T? How you doing? Excited for the game? Absolutely. She said, what up, Dan? You think we getting this W? Absolutely. And I heard that potentially Joel Embiid is going to be out with injury. So, I think our chances go up even more. Hey, Fernando, thank you, brother. I appreciate the donation. He said, Dan, I appreciate your live streams for real Laker perspective. I also want to put the Lakers outsider on blast and Anthony Irwin for constantly hating. I feel you, man. And you know what? What goes around comes around. So if you're hating on our young players and eventually they have a good game, I always say this about people, man. When we have a knee-jerk type reaction to young players, I'll say we because I've had those too, but not as often. But I do have them. I used to have them with Julius. I was very critical on him about his defense and about his lack of impact on the game. Like Julius is the type of player that he can have put up big stats, but he doesn't really help you get wins. Like, it's very rare when he helped you get wins. And sometimes he would. But I was very critical on him. And look, he's turning out to be a very solid player. But still, I still haven't changed my opinion on him. As good as he's been, he really doesn't impact the team as far as getting wins because sometimes he takes possessions off on the defensive end. But we're all critical of young players sometimes. And so I get your point, Fernando. We got to lay off a little bit, man. Let these young kids grow. Don't be all over their neck. Let them breathe a little, So I absolutely agree with you. What up, T? How you doing? Good to see you. What's up, Dan? What do you think about Enes Kanter? I like his back to the basket game, but for the style that Luke Walton wants to play and pushing the pace, he doesn't fit. Markieff Morris will fit better, man. Dan, Bron or Kobe? I'm team Kobe all day. I grew up watching Kobe. He's my GOAT. I know he's not the greatest of all time. Jordan, probably, or Kareem, or one of those superstars gets that honor. But for me, he's my GOAT. So, and I just love the way he carried himself on and off the court. He was just a killer, man. He had no mercy, and he would never take his foot off the gas. So that's what I always appreciated from Kobe. I try to live my life the same way. I try to be consistent in everything I do. That's why I come to you guys every stream, man, because there's no excuses, right? But LeBron is pretty good too, man. I'm not going to hate on Bron, especially now that he's a Laker. I'm not going to lie. Before he was a Laker, I was kind of hating on Bron a little bit simply because I didn't like the way he carried himself. But after he won that championship versus Golden State and he kind of mentally grew up a little bit, he gained a little bit of my respect back. So, Dan, what do you think about the interview with Kobe and McGrady? That was very interesting. And even then, you can see how competitive Kobe is, man. Still remembers beating McGrady on that practice game, and McGrady don't want to admit it. It's always fun watching Kobe, man. Again, I'm probably one of his biggest fans ever, but I'm an even bigger Laker fan, so that's why you don't hear me talk much about Kobe because he's not playing the game right now. But anybody who knows me in real life, man, they know I'm aware of pretty much everything Kobe. King James is a beast too, though, man. I'm not even hating on King James. As soon as he came here, I became a fan of King James, and I'm not a stan by any way. I don't think I've ever considered myself a stan of anybody because even Kobe, when he would play bad, and yes, Kobe wasn't perfect. Sometimes he would play bad. I would also critique his game. But, I mean, he was the closest to perfect that I could think of on both ends of the floor. So, I've been good. How you doing, Goblin? Good to see you, brother. Kobe will be a good coach. I would love to see Kobe as a coach. I'm not even lying. I like Kobe and I'm a Kings fan. See, there you go. That's a real dude right there. How you doing, Starlight? She said, I know we're going to ball out. What went over the Celtics gave us, what was that? She said, oh yeah, gave us a boost. Needed to get back on track. Lakers for life. I feel that way too. But we will see. We got to make sure we come out ready and don't relax. Even if Joel Embiid plays or not, you got to play hard. She said, he hates so hard, LOL, typo. Seriously, Dan, what happened to your backdrop? It's in the kitchen, but since I have family over, I started doing videos more here when I have people over. You'll see this little background right here. And when I don't have people over, which is now rare, then I'll do it from my kitchen with the backdrop. So the backdrop doesn't fit in here, man. My room is too small, so. Dan, is there a chance the Lakers go get Kyrie? There's a big chance. I believe Kyrie has a huge chance of becoming a Laker, especially after we beat him in his home floor. I think those glory moments flash before his eyes with LeBron James, and I think he can picture a similar scenario. Hey, Reed, how you doing, bro? Thanks for the donation, man. I appreciate you, brother. He said, very happy we had you while we was going through the negativity and of the AD trade. Thanks, man. That means a lot, brother. I'm always here, man, through thick and thin. I'll be here with you guys. If you guys been rocking with me for a while, I was here during the Mitch and Jim days. I mean, I've really been a diehard Laker fan since before that, like, again, 20 plus years. So I've been through the ups and downs, but I already know how things go, right? In the NBA, a lot of fans, there's a lot of fair weather fans that when a team is doing bad, they'll leave and they'll go cheer for whatever is doing good. Like I know a couple of those personally in real life. Warrior fans, I'm calling you out because half of you guys weren't there during the Baron Davis days or even before that. So they're not real Warrior fans in my eyes, but in their eyes, they're diehard. So, but Laker fans, for some reason, and not just Laker fans, Knicks fans too. Some Boston fans, most of them are bandwagons as well because they'll cheer on Lakers when we're doing good. I'll never forget Boston and Madison Square Garden chanted Kobe MVP when we were killing them before they acquired KG and Ray Allen. So that's where you see loyalty. You'll never catch Staples Center, at least Laker fans, chanting MVP for another player that's not donning the purple and gold. So bottom line is we have probably the most loyal fan base in the NBA, us along with the Knicks and a couple of other fan bases that don't come to mind right now. But I love Laker Nation, man. I love you guys, and I love our loyalty and our passion. Whether we struggle or we do good, we're always here. I know a lot of you guys already from the channel. You guys always here, so I appreciate you guys as well. He said, Dan, I have been watching updates, highlights, and commentaries. I can't stand why so much hate is focused on LA. It's hilarious. You know what, T? Again, we are, the center of. Basically, we are the center of attention for the league. When the Lakers are relevant, as soon as we got LeBron, you can guarantee basically almost every single talk show to talk about us at least once per show. It's rare when they don't mention the Lakers or LeBron, First Take, and all these other shows. They got to mention the Lakers because we are relevant, even when we're not winning all the time, right? So at the end of the day, I'm used to the hate. Sometimes it makes me giggle when I tune in to TNT and I hear Chuck and sometimes even Shaq and all these people hating. I'm like, Man, this is funny because as soon as we do good, they're gonna either one of two things is gonna happen. They're gonna jump on the bandwagon and say they like the Lakers, or they're gonna hush down and stop talking about us as much. So, bottom line is we always rise. It's only a matter of time. And I love being here for the process. To me, it's beautiful watching us shut the haters down. What happened to all this talk, right, over the past week or so since we won that Boston game? Have you heard anything about the Lakers messing up the core and how the Lakers should next time do a better job of keeping it on the low? I haven't heard many reports like that. So I love how they relish in the negativity, and then when we do good, they kind of just like disintegrate like ghosts, right? And that's what I love, man. I love watching everything. It's fun. It's fun for me. Even the negative stuff, I love breaking it down and talking to you guys about it, man. You guys are fun to I don't know. To me, this is not a job. To me, this is a hobby. I see this as a hobby. I get on and talk to you guys. You guys entertain me. I entertain you guys. Goes back and forth, man. Goes two ways. Love the hate. Mamba mentality. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Dan, we need to get this dub, bro. Let's go. Let's get it, Jimmy. Hey, I'm feeling good. Let's see if this shooting adds a little different type of dynamic to our half-court offense. I want to see us be able to stretch the floor. That way LeBron, Brandon, Kuz, Rondo, they could all slash in the paint better. There's more floor spacing, right, when you have shooters. So let's see if these guys can make that kind of impact starting day one. That'd be great. But it's going to take time to incorporate them, I think, This DTLF fam is the best squad. Dan, she said, Dan, keep it raw and always deliver. I appreciate that, T. You're too kind. He said, LeBron loved to play on Tobias Harris. Now, that was a big acquisition by the Sixers, man. The East Coast playoffs are going to be fun to watch. I know I said I wasn't going to watch much NBA no more, but I told you guys if the playoffs get interesting, I'm definitely tuning in. The East Coast this year, LeBron was right. Ever since he left, everybody feels like they can, take over the East, and that's fun to watch. Toronto made a trade for Marc Gasol. He looks solid, even though I feel like he slows them down a little bit in the half court, but it's worth it. Because if you think about it in the playoffs, the game slows down, and if you could have somebody to throw it down there that's going to get you a bucket like Mark, even at his age of 34, that's crucial. I thought the Bucks, by getting Nikolai Mirotic, that's huge as well, man. That was another big pickup. And, of course, the Sixers with the Tobias Harris trade. So it's going to be interesting to see who comes out of the East. Out of the West, man, I believe these Lakers could put up a fight, especially if we get healthy. I don't know if we will come out or not, but I always believe. Most likely it's going to be, right, Golden State, right? But there is chemistry issues, so you never know. If they get knocked out, I'll blame chemistry. From the early stuff that happened with Draymond and KD to whatever goes down, Boogie and Draymond are basically two time ticking bombs getting ready to explode. So, anything's possible. Muscala with the game winner tonight, I wouldn't mind. Man, as long as we win, I don't care who hits a game winner. As long as we win, man. I like this channel because Dan keeps it real and gives honest opinions. Thanks, Jesus. I appreciate you, man. Jesus is probably the realest Sacramento Kings fan I've ever spoken with, because most King fans hate us, man, because of what happened in the 2000s, and I don't blame them, right, with the Tim Donaghy stuff and all that. So I don't blame them. But dang, man, I'm telling you guys, you can't really categorize people because there's some really chill fans. And I know I hate Boston and Clipper fans, but I wouldn't be shocked if they had one or two chill fans out there. But for the most part, they don't. So, but man, I appreciate Jesus, man. Thank you, bro. He said a lot of those moves by those East teams were non-Bron motivated. You think so? You don't think they were LeBron motivated? Of course. Well, he's not there anymore, so I know what you're saying. But I think you mean because he's not there, they made those extra moves, right? That push. And then I agree. I don't know any Kings fans. Bro, I know so many people in real life and online that I think I know Knicks fans, Kings fans. I even know somebody that used to be an ex-Seattle Supersonic fan. So, shout out to Alex, man. This guy, he still wants the NBA to come back to Seattle. So I admire that, man. He's going to stay a fan even without a franchise. And I don't know. Personally, me, if the NBA would have took my Lakers away, and it'll never happen, but hypothetically speaking, I would never be an NBA fan again. That's me, because I love the Lakers so much. You take the one thing I love, I'm not going to cheer for your franchise. So, man, Alex, to be persistent like that and to be a diehard Seattle Supersonic fan and hoping that the franchise comes back and still like holding his breath all this time, I admire that. So shout out to you, sir. That's loyalty right there. He said, at Fred Jackson, we beat OKC with just a young core. So what you saying? Oh, we got some Thunder fans up in here. Thunder fans are getting pretty close to Clipper fans, man. You guys are making a nice little run, but don't buy the hype because you guys are just basically the Clippers of last season, right? Or the season before that when they thought they were contenders. But everybody knows they're just pretenders. As good as Paul George has been this season and Russell Westbrook, when it comes to the half-court game and in the playoffs, it slows down big time. When it comes to half-court, I don't expect the Thunder to advance 1 or 2 rounds. If they'll get lucky to get past 1 round. If they advance 2 rounds in the West, then man, say your prayers, bro. That's all I'm saying. I don't think the Thunder are really that deep. Like they got Steven Adams, they got Paul George, and they have Russell Westbrook. Outside of that, everybody else on that team is inconsistent. What, Jerry Grant is your next best player? Or is it Dennis Schroeder? Dennis Schroeder hasn't done nothing in his career. He's just a flashy player. He's very quick. But come playoff time, will he deliver? We will see. No hate. I'm keeping it 100 with you guys, man. That's how I feel about Thunder fans. I feel like Thunder fans are relevant right now because the team is doing really good. But come playoff time, they get eliminated first or second round. I don't think they're coming back, man. I probably might never see a Thunder fan in this stream again. Dennis will produce. Let's see. Let's see. I've never seen him in a pressure situation like he is now. Most of his career, he's been in Atlanta where they don't play for anything. So I got to see it to believe it. I don't doubt it, but I got to see it. What are your thoughts on the Bulls? Bulls fans? I really haven't encountered many Chicago Bulls fans, but they seem loyal to me. I mean, they got a pretty loyal fan base, and I don't like their front office, man. I don't like Paxson, right? I think that's his name. Or whoever's running it over there. I don't like it because they always seem to get good players and then trade them away, right? I get the Derrick Rose trade because he was injured. I don't get the Jimmy Butler trade, even though, you know, it was dysfunction or whatever. And if they were trying to trade Zach LaVine, who was very, very good. So I was a little confused with that. But I don't mind their fans at all. Dan, Markieff Morris will help us out on D. I would love Markieff Morris. I think he has a little chip on it. He always plays hard. That's one thing. He plays really hard. You know, so I do like the Morris twins. I like both of them. He said, about Warriors fans, Dan, what about Warriors fans? Again, Warriors fans to me are probably the biggest collective fair weather fans. For example, they didn't have a huge fan base when they sucked, man. I remember. I'm not going to forget that. And so all of a sudden, you know, Steph Curry emerges and they draft Clay and, you know, Draymond emerges and all this stuff happens and then they get KD. I feel like they're a collective fan base of like Clipper fans that are disappointed, you know, that Blake Griffin got traded. You know, fans from different teams that are disappointed just go and root for the Warriors because it's the easy thing to do. But to me, I call those fair weather fans, man. I don't respect them the same as regular fans that are loyal, like Knicks fans, like fans that are there for the team through the thick and thin. I respect them more. But that's just my opinion. I could be wrong, right? Fans are fans at the end of the day. But I don't know, man. If you're one of those fans that says, oh, man, the Lakers are struggling, you know what? I'm going to go to the Warriors. Or one of those fans that were like, oh, man, if the Lakers trade the whole young core, I'm going to go cheer for the Pelicans. They lost a fan. Then you're not a real fan. You're a player fan. And to me, that's more like that's closer to being a stan than a franchise fan. Because a franchise fan, no matter what your team does, you know, you're going to be a fan of the team, right? Then I feel bad for Zoe. LeVar's big mouth stays talking. Shake my head. I feel you, T. And my biggest fear is that LeVar will get his son traded. Hopefully, Magic Johnson can, you know, get past the talk. But it has to bother Magic. If he traded D'Lo away for liking a tweet and for the snitch thing and all that, for messing up the chemistry in the locker room, what do you think he would do to somebody who pretty much his father pretty much runs his mouth? Lonzo doesn't say much, right? It's not even his fault, but his dad pretty much speaks for him. That's never good for a franchise. If you're going to be a leader, you got to speak for yourself. And then thing number 2 is people tell me, Dan, you can't be like that. That's his pops, whatever. That's fine. But if my pops was talking for me, I'd pull him to the side respectfully and be like, Pops, I got this. Don't worry about it. It's my career. I got this. I'm still going to take care of the family and all that, but don't worry about it, man. I'm a big baller, right? So let me act like a big baller. And that's what I would do personally if I was Lonzo. But I think it's not in his personality. I think he's so laid back, so chill, that he just allows his dad. He doesn't see the consequences of having his father speak out like that. And to me, the thing that really got me upset about LeVar speaking out was the fact that LeVar said that basically, you know, I don't want to rephrase anything he said, but basically what he said was that Kuzma, Josh Hart, Brandon Ingram, and the whole young core is playing raggedy because his son is not out there. So basically, they ain't nothing. Without Lonzo, they're nothing. And that, if I'm one of the, I only put myself in the place of Kuz or Josh Hart or Ingram. If I'm one of those guys, how am I gonna look at Lonzo and be like, yo, bro, like, you got to get your pops, right? Like, you can't be saying stuff like that about us. He's messing with our brand, right? They're not over here saying Big Baller Brand is a gimmick. You know, how would they react? They got to flip the script. So pretty much, I don't know, man. I don't like people that throw their own teammates under the bus, and I know Lonzo doesn't have nothing to do with it, but his pops is just a gum flapping person, man. And it gets to the point where I don't know if Magic is going to take all that and just allow it to sit and simmer. And beat his play, so be it. We want to beat the team. We want to beat them at the best. So I'm still encouraged by what we did, man. I think we could win tonight. We just have to play really smart and hard for 48 minutes. We can't take any possessions off. Dan, they need to make a diss track on Lonzo and his dad. Nah, man. They need to focus on basketball, especially Josh Hart. Josh Hart has really disappointed me this season because coming into Summer League, the way he was looking tip-top shape, I was excited for Josh Hart, and I don't know why, if it's the injury, if it's Fortnite, or what it is, but something is really distracting this man. And the thing that really pisses me off is when I go on Twitter and I see him tweet stuff like keep that same energy and stuff like that. It's like, bro, let your game do the talking. Don't worry about what people are saying. You just let your game do the talking, and the rest will take care of itself, right? So he's talking even before he produces. That's only going to get trolls and fans that are impatient to get on his case even more, which is going to in turn mess with his head even more. So you don't want to be like KD and let what people say get to you, right? Because that's kind of like weak-minded. You want to be strong-minded. So, Dan, what's your prediction for this game? Man, my prediction is a victory. I don't know by how many points, but I hope that the new additions are able to impact the game. And my predictions is that they will. I think they'll drop a couple of threes, stretch the floor, and open up things for guys like LeBron to be able to slash and do what they do best. Bullock is good. I agree, LA. Video games can ruin your life if you let them. Well, anything that's basically, I would say video games, because video games keep people out of trouble. It's also good for them because, a lot of these athletes, instead of going out clubbing and getting themselves in trouble and, chasing hood rats and all this, they're playing video games and spending their time indoors, which is better and safer for them. So I'm not really going to say that video games ruin your life. But what I will say is any addiction that takes over your life more than, if it takes away from you doing what you have to do, then it's bad for you, right? That's all. You got to be able to manage your time better. If your jumper is off, I want to see you in the gym. I don't want to see you playing Fortnite or talking about zombies or none of that. But again, he's his own person, so I can't really tell him what to do, right? He's an adult at the end of the day. But I'm just saying it's better for his career if he focuses more on, he focuses more on his career, man, because you never know. What if you get traded in the summer because you didn't focus, right? Now you're over here kicking yourself in the head, wishing that you didn't buy the new season pass to Fortnite, right? Instead, you would have been in the gym. So that's all I say. I don't mean to critique anybody for what they do on their free time. That's totally your business. I don't want to sound like a hypocrite, right? Because nobody critiques what I do on my free time. But at the same time, man, I'm rooting for Josh Hart. I want him to get better because I saw his potential and he hasn't lived up to it. What are your thoughts on Markieff Morris? I like him as a player. He's tough-nosed. I think he's a hustle guy. He plays solid defense, and he can stretch the floor a little bit here and there. So I like him. I think he would be the better addition than Carmelo because Carmelo, I just don't know what he has in the tank. He hasn't played ball in a while. He could be rusty for a long time, and by the time he gets his game back, maybe by then, he just took away too many shots from players. So I'm hoping for Markieff, but maybe somebody else will get released that we don't know about yet. Maybe that's what the Lakers are waiting for, right? Dan, I got the Lakers winning 105-99. Bron 27 points. Simmons 18. That's not a bad prediction. As long as it's a dub, I'm happy, man. Let's hear. She said, "Yeah, let's go. Group huddle. LOL. Let's do it. Let's get it." Now it's gonna be a tough game. Don't get me wrong. They got plenty. JJ Redick is a sniper. If we let him come off of screens and get open, he's gonna be cashing them things. Same thing with Tobias Harris is a beast in the mid-range. He could also stretch the floor, and he could attack. And Ben Simmons, he's basically a slasher who can pass. But Joel Embiid is my biggest fear because we don't really have nobody to we don't have an Anthony Davis or a Karl Anthony Towns to offset whatever he brings. So he could be the difference in the game. He has been many times that we've played Philly. But most of the time when we play Philly, it's never a blowout. It's always a close game. You guys remember a year ago, Brandon Ingram won it at the buzzer in Philly. So I hope it's something like that, and we pull off with a victory. That's my biggest hope, like as far as the game goes. Crazy how people acting like Lonzo wasn't. See, when the comment section gets stacked, I don't get to read your guys' comments all the way. He said, crazy how people acting like Lonzo wasn't balling before he got injured. Lonzo was hooping. We're not even talking about a skill set. That's the sad part. Lonzo is hooping, and we're not talking about a skill set. You could thank his dad for that, right? Because his dad basically changes the narrative, and that's sad, right? That's sad. But that's going to wrap it up for me, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, man. Thanks for all the love and support you guys have been showing. The channel, all the donations, all the great comments, the likes, the subscriptions, all that. We almost at 8,000, so we're getting up there, man. We're getting up there. Mike better watch his back. We coming for you, Mike. So, it should be fun. But let's get this win tonight, guys. I will see you guys post-game. Much love to all you guys. Hope for the best. I hope we can build on that momentum. Let's get it, man. I will ban this spammer as soon as the video is done. Don't worry about it. I appreciate you guys, man. I'll see you guys post.